Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, they're holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hello, everybody. Sorry, a bus just drove by very loudly. Hi, Mike. How are you? Take that as you may. I hope everybody is doing well today. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen again. We're slightly earlier. I aimed for it. We didn't get there, but I did have a shower. I feel nice and clean. We have 2 recipes on the agenda today. And did I see some guessage going on in the chat? I actually have not been looking at the chat at all this morning, but I see Vicky was first. Let me just go back and review. Oh, you have a psych interview coming up, Mike. That's good. Let's see. Fresh tamales, that would be amazing. No, so you guys were just sort of conjecting. Anyways, we're making a creamy pasta salad with spinach, and artichokes could be involved, but they are expensive, as Cellulite Yoga Pants said, and so they're not involved today. I had them in the cart, but I was like, I think we'll be okay. We're gonna do this the Paisley way. But I did splurge for a little something. Hi, Christopher Angle B. We all know I love cheese. I've been going to the gym. I did 17,000 steps yesterday. Good job. Anyways, I got some feta. So this will be a spinach and feta pasta salad with a creamy dressing. And see, I can eat all of the cheese I want as long as I do enough steps. I mean, you have to be careful; it adds up quick, but you know what I mean. Anyways, and we're also making a smoothie. So the reason is I was at Walmart. Also, I sent a picture of this to a friend of mine, and this is French, for anybody that doesn't know. Everything in Canada is in French and English. Value size, format économique, fresh market, Montmartre fraîcheur, spinach, épinards. Even down here, thoroughly washed, ready to eat. Oh, I'm glad I read that. Laver soigneusement. Prêt à manger. Keep refrigerated. Garder réfrigéré. See, that's pretty much the extent of my French. I have a decent accent and I can read it-ish. But that's about it. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, on the other hand, still very proud of this, speaks French because she's gone to French school her whole life. Anyways. Oh, but this is a product of the USA! Yay, baby! Yay! Thank you, Chris. You're so sweet. Oh, look. Thank you. You are amazing. Keeping it fresh. This is from the USA, so we can pretend like, you know, this is a cross-border thingamajigger. Anyways, so thank you again, Chris. And the reason, so I this was $5.97, and but obviously prepared directly for Canada, because the packaging has to be like this. It means that So here, imported for Walmart in Mississauga. But yeah, every single thing has to be in French and English. So, this spinach épinard is gonna go into a smoothie this morning. I haven't had my favorite smoothie in a long time. I'm tweaking it a little bit because just what I've got, because isn't that the way? And then, but yeah, it is a spinach smoothie, William, but it's made with coconut milk. I got light coconut milk, but coconut milk, the spinach, the bananas, and maybe a little bit of juice. And I have brought out my blender, my handy dandy blender for today. So we're gonna get started doing that. I have to get the court going. I have to do that because I have a feeling there's a court hearing I need to record later today, and I need to be on it. So we have to get this moving so that I can make sure we're on that. I know none of us want to miss it, so that's that. How is everybody doing? What did everybody have? Does anybody else have smoothies normally? I'd love to hear about your smoothiness. Let's switch over. Also, I have the water boiling for the pasta. Oh, and the pasta. So we have to make a choice. I need your guys' help. We have number 90. Number 90. Gemelli, as we can see. And then, or we have number 97, Celentani. I'm leaning towards this one, Celentani. It's funny how I have a terrible Italian accent, but a good. So do you see how these ones are? They're unique. They're not quite like they're interlocking in a way that I think they'll both hold pasta very well. This one has a more traditional hole, but I just want to point out, like, this is not your average rotini, okay? All right? Why aren't you on the big screen for this, Paisley? God damn it. So annoying. Anyways. Also, this is not sponsored by Barilla, but I will go ahead and accept a sponsorship, possibly. Get in touch with my people. So I think they would both hold pasta, but I agree that this has more. You never noticed that pasta had numbers? It makes it so easy. I think 97 too. 97! This is Italy's #1 brand of pasta. La Marque dei Pâtés, #1. That's a bit of in Italy. Al dente in 11 minutes. And see, it cooks faster. I find it interesting. So we're going to go ahead with 97. Number 97, guys. Woohoo! It's not numbered? That's ridiculous. That just made that very easy. Each of these were $1.97. I'll eat them both. This is a non-GMO product. Verified. I think they're both made in the same thing. They have very similar batch numbers, so and the expiry date's the exact same. So I think Casey Carey giving Julie a gift and Paisley a gift on this Thursday morning. Hi. Okay, what did we decide? We've had 97. Okay, great. Perfect. So let's get the court going now that we've made all the really important decisions. Barb, what's her, Cellulite Yoga Pants just said they do make a good gluten-free pasta. Your mileage may vary? I don't know. I don't eat gluten-free pasta because I punish myself in other ways. You know what I mean? Jelly beans. Okay. We're off to. Where are we off to? Oh yeah. Is this where we're off to? No, Paisley. No. We already saw this. Hold on. We'll start with this.
But in any event, we're going to try and correct that and see if we can get it correct. So we're here in the matter of Camp Heiss versus Teach Out, case number 12-009444DC. Let's deal with the easiest one first. You both received this recommendation, Ms. Teach Out, you're the objecting party. Your first objection is that the child doesn't graduate till May of 2030, correct?
Correct, yes.
Mr. Camp Heiss, any comment on that?
No,
I mean, yeah, you know this child better than I do. And if she graduates early, you just let us know.
Yeah, we already
We
agreed
won't,
to that.
but yeah.
That was totally understandable and totally acceptable. Yep.
Yes, famous last words. My sister graduated like a semester or two early, and that was not anticipated. She just got all the work done, and she was bored, and she said, "I'm done."
Yeah.
Oh.
So you never know. I mean, you could say that she won't graduate early, and maybe she does.
All right.
Or maybe it takes a little extra time because something happens.
Mhm.
So in any event, we'll get it to the 2030. That's the easiest one.
Yep.
All right. Ms. Teachout, what do you believe the overnights are?
Well, this year for 2024, it's only been 4 overnights total, and then it's been 0 since March.
Okay, what's going on, Mr. Camp Heiss? What is your opinion of what the parenting time is?
It's McKenna was here in April, the night
Okay.
before Easter.
Okay.
But the situation we have going on, I mean, just it is what it is. I got married,
Okay.
and my daughter does not seem to get along with my wife, and it's
Sorry
very
about that.
it's very frustrating. It's very hard, and I'm trying to be the best dad I can be and still
Right.
spend time with my daughter
Okay.
and support her where I can and where I,
Well, what I will tell you is anything.
Actually, Judge, before you step in, I'm going to step in here and talk because I've been a stepmother, I'm a mother, and I had a stepmother. Thank you, Casey Carey. And I didn't like my stepmother when I was younger out of like, I think Cinderella conditioning. I'm not joking. I'm literally not joking. I believe that we are like, they're in when I was growing up, the evil stepmother was portrayed a lot. And upon reflection and upon like maturing as an adult, I've recognized that my stepmother was nothing but nice and very kind and welcoming and accommodating to me. But being a teenage girl is also very difficult. But mom's attitude here is the biggest impactor. Not that my mother's watching, but mother's attitude here is the biggest impactor. And I'll just say that my daughter loves her stepmom, and I also love her stepmom. She's as much a co-parent as my ex-husband, and I'm very thankful for her because she's very good to my daughter. So I don't understand this unless something happened. And then look at mom's little face look at, you see that? You see her little face? Little scrunched up nose down there? Even that, like even when you're trying to be good, but you're really just underneath seething, it comes through. Children are smart. So you can't be, I don't know what the fuck this face is, but you can't be like that. And also, Mom, like, you also have to get through it. I'll give credit to my mom. I don't know if it's credit, but she certainly made us go to my dad's, like, all the time when it was his time with us, even if it was easier or we wanted to stay at home. But anyways, I fucking did set the timer. Oh, thank God. Thank God I set the timer for the pasta. Time to make the smoothie.
From 1 to 70 generally does not do much on the guidelines. And mathematically speaking, what they want is nobody to argue over every other weekend, 2 or 3 weeks in the summer, every other holiday. So it's kind of mathematically carved out.
Right.
So if I put you at 30 or 40 or 50, it's probably going to be the same amount. It's based 99.9% on your income at this point. Her income's not even relevant to the equation. This is why a lot of people get upset with the front of the court when they look at the payer and say, I need to know to the nickel what your income is. And then they look at the payee and say, so about what do you make?
Right.
Because mathematically it's mostly on you. So they want to make sure we get it right.
So I do have one question regarding
Sure.
the overnights. I am not objecting overnights. I want my overnights. I
Right.
want my every other weekend. That's not the problem. The problem is we're having an issue with. I mean, I think first, I think Brianna's a great mom, okay, but we're having issues with the enforcement of, hey, this is your father's weekend. You need to go with your dad.
Right.
And
Well, you have the right to apply for the front of the court to the parenting time show cause, and they can help you.
right.
There, you get, if, so Brianna, so that you understand this too, the front of the court has a division that does show cause hearings if you're not paying child support. That's pretty easy. Child support's done by a computer. We know when it's not being paid.
Mhm.
The court has no idea when parenting time's not being utilized. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And they have,
I don't,
and well, they have certain rules about it.
yeah. My daughter, our daughter, she's 13.
Right.
And she, there's been a couple times where Dan has, said, can I pick her up this weekend? And I said, that's between you and her. Like,
No, it's not.
she doesn't want to go. I can't make her go.
Again, it does not matter. Does she want to go to school? Because you have
Well,
to make her go to school. This is a
No,
court order this is a court order that both of you have to comply with.
right, but there was a CPS investigation the last time she was over there.
And when was that?
March 29th was the last time she
And
went over there.
did that substantiate or not substantiate?
I'm not sure.
It was
I just know
released
that.
Okay. Bottom line, that's what the parenting time show cause thing does, because we haul in people for not paying child support. And when they explain, here's my letter of disability, there's a reason they're not paying. They're not held in contempt. Okay. So in other words, he can apply to say you're refusing. They have the right to then contact you and say, what's the explanation?
I've never
If there's
refused though.
Well, I understand that, but what
Not
you're
once.
telling me is you're letting the child run the show and she's 13.
He hasn't shown up to pick her up. He stopped taking her in November 2022.
That's what the parenting time division can help you with. They try to meet with you. They don't haul you into court right away. They try and mediate this between the two of you, because you do have a court order for parenting time. That is the court order. The court will enforce it at some point.
Right.
If you haven't utilized it in a few months, sir, we're not going to hold her in contempt for you not doing it.
No,
But what we would do is we would reset the playing board and say, from here's how we're going to go forward. And the parenting time show cause division can help both of you with that, to reset the playing board to get this back on its normal course. Okay?
And I have had that conversation with the friend of the court to reset this, and I knew this was going to happen, so we said let's just wait.
But we're just here for child support. The parenting time issue, again, none of this is in the file.
Okay.
To the court's knowledge, the court presumes that the court orders in the file are being followed. There's a court order for parenting time. I was trying to figure out, because child support's based on what you actually do, not what the court orders say. The court order for parenting time is a separate issue that needs to be enforced in a separate event.
Okay.
I'm just trying to tell both of you how this works, that both of you are on the same page. It's not easy for either party. The court does not have a choice till the child turns 18 about trying to do something about parenting time. It gets more and more frustrating the older the child gets. But the law presumes that parenting time will be accomplished by both parents.
And that's what I was told too, is that Brianna and myself both need to co-parent together. When it's my weekend,
Correct.
she needs to enforce McKenna.
Correct. And maybe what you need to do is start it slow and say, McKenna, why don't you come over for a Saturday afternoon? Let's work on this.
Yep. And
Start her
we
slow.
we have been doing that, and things have been progressively getting better. But
Good.
and there's no rhyme or reason, but in defense to it, it was like, hey, I needed to let things settle down, get McKenna back to a comfortable place before I just
And
bring her.
that's what you should do, and that's what people would try to help you guys with. It's not that I'm going to jumpstart and say you're getting next weekend because that's your weekend, and that I'll damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. That's not what we're going to do, because I'm not going to force a 13-year-old. What I am going to say is I have to encourage the 13-year-old and remind all of parties that parenting time is a court order that needs to be complied with. The question is how and what's in the best interest of the child and the way to make that happen.
Right.
Because we're going to be here until she's 18.
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer to you guys parent the child, not me.
Yeah.
But if I have to get draconian, then I do. And I don't, sometimes
Well,
it's not the best thing to do. So I'm trying to set both of you on this because there is a court order. I suggest you read it, work with the child, and get it back to speed. What I'm going to do is set the parenting time at about 50 overnights, because again, that's about midway. Eventually, I'm going to presume that parenting time is going to continue and going to get back on track. If it doesn't, like I said, anything from 1 to 70 generally does not change the child support all that much. 136 does change the child support drastically.
Where did that number come from?
What number?
130.
Miss Bowen typed it incorrect.
Right.
That's what I started this hearing with. She did a
Okay.
typo, a big one.
I just did a typo and I looked at your objection. I went 136.
So she tried to figure out where she got it herself. It was just one of those, her fingers missed.
I read that and I was jumping for joy, thinking, all right, I get 106 overnights.
Humans run this sometimes. The computer runs the actual child support. So to help us all, I spend the morning explaining to generally the payer it's too much for you to pay, and generally to the payee it's not enough for you to receive to take care of the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is set by law.
Changing the overnights to 50 for father does make a difference. The base
I
support,
figured it would.
the base
once you get to
support
100 over 110, it starts
Yeah.
changing drastically. So
base
all right.
support would be 1,286 minus a healthcare premium of 11 plus ordinary medical of 28 for a total of $1,303 per month.
Okay.
So I do have a question.
Sure.
Just because I've asked and they told me to wait. So in our order, there is a medical stipulation that the Brianna's responsible for the first $495 of medical expenses per year. Yes. I haven't seen that. I mean, not that I'm aware.
What she does is she keeps the receipts. Once she hits that threshold, then everything else is split by an uninsured medical cost.
Okay.
And the federal law presumes that 496. They're the ones that set that. It's my understanding they're going to reset it next year to 290.
Right.
So it's set by federal law, not by us. So we have to put it in there, and then Ms. Teachout, you keep the receipts for anything medical that you do. Once you've hit that threshold, then you have the right to request. You send the copies of the receipts to him, and you say, "All right, the percentage split is
77.3, I believe."
Right. 73% to you, sir, and 27% her. So out of every $100 after the 490, you'd pay 73 of it, sir, and she'd pay 27. It's split based on the pro rata share of your gross incomes.
Right. Mm-hmm. And currently it's the bills just keep coming to me, and other than some of the co-pays, but 90%, I'd say 100% of it, I'm paying all the bills all the time.
I pay for all of her chiropractor bills and
that's something that you guys need to sit down and figure out. If you can't, we do have a medical division that also does that.
Yeah, I have
that will assist you in the offsets.
So last question I have, when it comes down to sporting activities, McKenna's a great athlete. She, Brianna is actually her coach, doing a fantastic job. But when it comes down to that, on my weekend, for say, if she has an out of city, I live in Newaygo, they live in Forest Hills, and the tournament's down in Detroit, but it's my weekend. Obviously, I do my
unfortunately, what I tell people is parenting time is time to be a parent, not time for possession.
Right.
You have to do what the child needs to get done. So in other words, if they have some event then you're the one that can take them, or you guys can arrange and say, well, if Brianna's the coach, Brianna's obviously going one way or the other. You can look at her and go, I can't do it this weekend. If you need to pick her up, or I'll drop her off at your house for the event, and then I'll pick her back up after it's over.
Okay.
But it should be you that does that, because you want to be involved in the child's life.
Absolutely.
And that also is something that pushes her away if you don't get involved.
Right. Well, that's something that's kind of coming between us as an scapegoat for her not to spend her weekends with me.
No, then she spends the weekend with you, but it's your responsibility to get her into practices or games.
I like that. I appreciate
This
that.
is all started back in November 22 because Dan.
Again, none of this is in the file, people. The only thing in the file is that I've got a court order that says there's parenting time. I'm trying to explain to you guys the way to work this out.
Yep.
I'm not making any ruling on parenting time. I can't. The only thing we're here for is child support.
Okay.
The reason I spend time with the parties is to see if I can prevent you from having to come back to court if at all possible.
Yeah.
I'd prefer you not waste your time and money. If you need to, that's great. But if I can answer some of your questions at a session like this informally, then maybe I can guide you so that you follow what the court would more than likely do.
Yeah. I mean, you've answered my questions, and I appreciate the.
Well, it's a heads up. It's just like, this is the law and that's the way it's going to go. Ms. Teach Out, do you have any questions? And the best part, Ms. Teach Out, is you can always look at your daughter and blame me.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I'm the faceless jerk that has to enforce the court orders.
yeah,
So
no,
if you need to blame me, you blame me.
Yeah, no, she's been in counseling because it's been a
Right.
struggle since her dad, first 11
Yeah.
years, her dad was her number one, and then he
Yeah.
met this girl and he moved an hour away.
Yeah, and that's,
She's struggling really bad. She goes to counseling a lot,
new
and
families happen. You haven't I take it you
I
haven't had that
know.
happen yet. Have you
Yeah.
had somebody have you
Yeah,
had a
I
okay.
got married 3 years
Okay.
ago, and
Yeah,
she's
and the court can't prevent you guys from getting remarried. The only thing the court would be concerned of is if the person you marry has a CSC background or some background harming children or something, then I've got a question. But we presume that you're going to make the choices in the best interest of your children, and the psychological fallout is going to be the psychological fallout.
Mhm.
I nursed my father through 3 marriages and 3 divorces, and
Okay.
I lived with all the stepmoms.
Mhm.
So, it's not easy. Been there, done that. It is what it is. But we've got to you're right, get the child in counseling, work their way through this. Whatever you have to do, Daniel, then you need to do it to re-establish that relationship with your daughter. You had it at one time, and she
Oh, yeah, we
feels
were.
agree. Well, and she
We were
feels
back.
You can tell Mom is still mad. Thank you, Flusha, by the way. I appreciate that. I have my hands full of hot pasta water. Look at these green onions. This plant is so sturdy and strong. I haven't had such beautiful, large, thick, hard green onions in so long. No, I'm not actually joking about that. These are extremely good. Look at them. I mean, can't put those little blue elastics on these boys. You need the big elastic. That's thicker than a pen. That's great. Very happy about that. Just take that one off. Okay, so I think they say 3. I mean, I don't think we need quite 3, but I like green onions, so we'll do these 2 big ones. I'm going to chop those up. I drained the pasta. I'm going to wash them too. My smoothie is healthy, which is how I wanted to make it. And then I'm going to try and regrow these because they're so good. So I'm going to leave a little more on the bottom than I normally would. Not this one. This is a regular green onion. Look. Look at this. That's a regular green onion beside these big papas. Oh, the pasta water's been drained. I already did it. But look at these big papas. So I'm going to try and regrow these ones. These are the real ones. Like, they're real, but these were in the middle there. Isn't that amazing? I bought them. I do recall that they did look like that. And this is a cold pasta salad, and it's not super healthy. Don't get anything confused about that. You could spank somebody with that. Anyways, okay, let's continue listening to the judge for 2 minutes. This is not even the case I thought it was, to be honest. To be honest.
She feels aggrieved. You also have the right, by the way, to be at any of those events when it's mom's weekend. The events are
absolutely.
public. So
Mhm.
in other words, a public event is a public event. If you want to show that you're interested in your daughter's life, you show up. I've been to many football games where you start off the season wearing shorts and a t-shirt and sweating,
Yep.
and at the end of the season you're wearing thick clothing and you're getting rained on that's icy. So it's you just sit in the stands, you
Yeah.
do it.
I have one last question. I apologize.
Sure.
With the 50 overnights, is that pretty much every other weekend? Is that the breakdown of that?
That's pretty much the breakdown. But like I said, there's a lot of leeway there. I'm only setting it at that because I'm assuming you're going to start getting regular parenting time eventually.
Yeah, because when this first
take your
started,
time, get it back up to speed.
I
And
had
like I said, if I take it from
vacations and-
anywhere from 1 to 70, it's probably not going to matter all that much. 136, the typo, was a drastic
Yep.
change. So,
Yep.
but again, that was a typo, and that was neither one of your fault. Neither one of you asked for that.
I was very confused.
Sometimes we do get confused. It's okay. And that's very rare, I'll tell you, for Miss Bowen to do a typo. So
Yeah.
I think this is the first one I've seen in,
Well, it
almost
didn't matter because either
years.
way, the graduation year needed to change, so.
yeah, one way or the other. So in any
Yep.
event, any other questions, Ms. Teachout? I want to give both of you the opportunity. Take care and take care of your daughter and enjoy the sports and enjoy her life. You only have 4 more years.
I know.
And once she starts dating, that gets cut off even more.
Yeah.
God help both of you. All right. Well, I knew
Right.
my 14-year-old was at home when her bedroom door was closed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
yes,
that's pretty much it.
Yep.
And she's 24 now, and that's when I know she's home.
yeah.
She's downstairs right now. So in any event, take care, ladies and gentlemen. I try to use those experiences to maybe help you, because it's not easy, but the law does presume certain things. Okay?
Right.
Yep.
Good luck
Thank
to
you for
both
your
of
time very
Thank
much.
you. Have
Appreciate
a
it.
great day.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
All righty, Miss Bowen, thank you. Run that and get it over to
Wow. So Judge has his adult daughter living at home with him? Interesting. Do any of you have your adult children living at home with you? I'd love to hear about it. Tell me a little bit about it in the chat. Okay, I've diced up these green onions. Guess what? We're going to finish the show just cooking. We'll have more court later today, but we're going to finish the show just cooking. So, we have green onions here. Casey Carey, how old is your son? The green onions, they have been chopped. The spinach has to be chopped next. Oh no, I need to mix the dressing first. So, we're going to mix the dressing. I think if a kid lives with you has a lot to do with 2 things. First is if you have, also I should have put this whole thing in, because this is, well, regardless, anyways, I think cost of living and then parents' cool level has to do with living at home when you're an adult. Like, if the cost of living is such that it's not feasible to be buying or renting where you need to be, then that might be. But, and again, like, I lived at my mom's house for a long time, but I paid rent. So again, it seemed like it wasn't even reduced rent like back in those days. Now it would be considered a deal, but I don't live there anymore. Anyways, okay. This recipe has sour cream, mayonnaise. You could use Greek yogurt and light mayonnaise. I wasn't buying new ingredients. My fat ass already had these ones. So we're going to do 3/4 of a cup. Hold on, I have to look at the recipe. Oh, so I'm gonna do 3/4. 3/4 and half. So 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. I made myself a little stand here where I've got this, but it's on top of, no. All the mess back there, it's actually not that messy. Okay, 3/4 of a cup of sour cream in. You can't see what I did. You can't see what I did. Fuck. Then, half a cup of mayonnaise. This is not something that I would normally do, like use mayonnaise in a dressing, but half a cup of mayonnaise. I guess you use like a spoon to scoop it out. Okay, we'll do that. I measured in my mind. Okay, and then we're gonna we're stirring. And now, what was next? Oh, vegetable soup mix. We need to talk about this, my American friends. This is the vegetable soup mix. It's like a bouillon cube. I don't know that that's what she's talking about. I think she's talking about, like, you know how you can get like a powdered soup mix? But we only have onion powdered soup mix. Is that what they'd be referring to? Or this is a bouillon cube. What do you think when the recipe says 1 package of vegetable soup mix, 1.4 ounces? Is that an ounce? I don't think that's an ounce. I think I'm gonna pivot and use onion soup powder, which will taste fine. Will it dye it brown though? We have so many questions. Doesn't matter, because I'm the only person that's probably gonna eat it anyways, so I don't really care. And I like onions. So I'm going to add in the onion soup powder. Oh, it's mostly... Oh, I dropped the bag, or the thing in there. It's mostly onions, which I like. Way less soup powder than I thought. Now, isn't this a dip in itself? Isn't this what they sell this as? Like, you can make this into a chip dip? I've never done that, but I've heard about it. Is that what this is? I've made chip dip. We could stop right here. Has anybody ever put pasta in their chip dip? There's a new thing. That's the Canadian way. Oh my. I'm very excited about this. Sirens. Can you hear them? This looks like the sauce you get on a Big Mac. That's exactly what that looks like. Big Mac sauce. It's the perfect color. That light orangey color. Okay. Next is what? Oh, the spinach. Oh, the spinach. Oh, the spinach. I need to cut it up. I gotta cut up the spinach. Oh, I'll put in the green onion. I bet there was quite a bit of sodium in that soup mix, so I'm probably not going to add any salt before I taste it. So we'll mix that. Yeah, Knorr makes vegetable soup mix, but not in Canada, Barb. I searched high and low for it. I think that's what was called for in this recipe, but we don't have access to that. So we had to adapt. We had to adapt. Just like we're going to adapt to this situation and chop up this fucking spinach. Chop it up. Put it in. That's what she said. Chop it up. Put it in. Again, I'm doing a bit of a lesser recipe, so I'm thinking this is going to be like maybe 2 cups of rough chopped spinach that's now going into what now appears to be a very overdressed salad, folks. This is the kind of salad, if you took to a dinner party, somebody would be worried about you. Okay? But this is also the kind of salad that you might have made once as a child when you weren't being supervised. I love how everybody left, which is fine, except for my true fans. Now, we're adding in the pasta, and then we're going to chop up some feta and add that in. So, oh, perfect, she says. Oh, perfect. Pasta. You guys are my bestest fans. I craved this salad yesterday from Whole Foods. I walked my ass 4 kilometers. I said, if you walk, Paisley, if you walk 4 kilometers, you can get the pasta salad. And guess what? I walked my ass all the way down there, and they were out of the pasta salad. And I had to sit down for a minute and think about my life. You know? I had to think about it. I don't know. I thought this would call for feta. Doesn't it look like it calls for feta? It looks perfectly mixed at this point. We've got green onion in there. Pasta number 97. Don't forget. Very important. 97. Spinach. Mayonnaise. And now we'll chop up a little bit of feta. It's not going to be a lot. It's a little bit of feta we're going to chop up. This is the smoothie that we made. Looks like pasta salad. Well, Paisley's never made pasta salad. Actually, that's a lie. I once made a bacon BLT pasta salad. It needs more veggies. Well, I could maybe add more spinach to it, but at this point, it looks pretty good. I am going to have to calculate. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm adding this entire bowl to my calories today. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to literally calculate every bit of this. I may not eat it all, but I know exactly how much we put in there of each thing, and it's all going on the list. Shit, this is in brine. You got to be careful. Not Brian. Brine. Okay, so you see just a little bit of, I could put carrots in it, but I'm not gonna. So now I'm gonna chop this up into probably like small centimeter cubes, I would say. Maybe slightly bigger. I wish they were smaller as I do it, but they'll break up. Cause breaking up is hard to do, except for feta. You're so funny, Paisley. Oh my god, you're so funny. I'm not. Judge Kometz, I think the annoying couple is back. The pro se mom that had the diabetes. So that's why I gotta be on the lookout for that soon. Oops. The mushroom recipe was really good. They got eaten. This could do with more feta, but again, I'm trying to be on a diet, y'all. So, we've now added the feta, and it's perfect. This is perfection. Now I'm going to taste it. I'm going to taste it. And enjoy. Hopefully. And I'll season it after I taste it, right? The thing is, you don't want to season something too much before, because it will sit in, it will intensify. First of all, wow. I made that. That's so good. I made that. First of all, the pasta. Where's the box? Wow. Perfect. The absolute best choice. Number 97. You guys, get some. Get some 97 because it's so perfect. There's holes so it holds some pasta. But they're springy. Oh. Love that. The spinach, perfect. What happened was the pasta was still partly warm. And so we basically just wilted the spinach. And so it's not like raw, it's just slightly wilted. It's delicious. The spinach is perfect. I didn't salt the water at all, William. But this doesn't need salt, and I'll tell you why. We added the whole... You know, I couldn't find the name brand of this. I know Lipton makes French onion soup or onion soup mix. But this is the first time you see there's 3 left in there. That's my first time ever using this. It's only 20 calories? Oh, per quarter of the pouch. Okay, so that's 80 calories. That's not bad. Okay, so we had one whole one of these, and there's a lot of sodium in this. I bet that this has, 28%. No, so it's got 100% of your daily sodium in this salad without adding any bit. Everything else was good. I actually pared down the mayonnaise and the sour cream, and you don't need more. It's perfect. And I did put olive oil on the pasta when it first came out. I put olive oil on it, and I normally salt pasta water. I just forgot. I can't remember what chef it used to be on. What's it called? Food Network, who was like, your pasta water should be salty like the sea. Anyways, this was delicious. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have more quart later. I think around 6 o'clock. I'm gonna go plant. I think I may have overmade the pasta salad here, but we'll enjoy it in this house. It is delicious. You should try making it at home. Again, really super simple, easy recipe. Watch me make it in real time, including boiling the water. Thank you again for being here. I love each and every one of you and appreciate you guys so much. And don't forget that I love you, I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video.
Ways down and ready to ride.